Good morning, nice crisp Sunday morning here. I'm out with the dog. Where's he gone? Yeah, so short of time a lot at the minute, so combining a dog walk with doing this video. So if anyone's thinking about getting a Whitehead pointer, don't, unless you've got 4 hours a day. At the minute this is 3 walks a day, and it's about as much as I can deal with everything else. Just keep checking, make sure there's no deer or anything around he might chase. There he goes. Anyway, how do you survive a property crash, or how did I survive a property crash, and how did I end up making money out of it in the end? So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Back in 2008, when house prices crashed, I'm going to tell you how I managed to make some money out of that, and how it didn't really affect me as much as what I thought it had. So how do you survive a property crash? First thing is, seems obvious, don't sell unless you really have to. So might sound obvious, but some people panic and they think properties are going to drop even more, so they get out and sell and think that they're going to buy back in when they're low. Often that doesn't happen, and people I know that have tried to do that have ended up being sort of squished out of the market because they've spent a bit of the equity, property prices have increased, and they've been unable to get back on the market. I've seen that happen several times. So don't sell. So what happens if you want to move or you want to relocate? Do what I did and rent the property out. Usually rents always go up. I've never known for rents to go down. So whilst the property prices might have dropped, and they did in 2008, and I know someone around the corner from me that actually forked out over £10,000 to get out of the property. I just rented mine out and ended up renting it out for quite a long time. Well, that's what I did, and I sold that property recently for a profit. And yes, there was some pain to put up with whilst having it rented out, but it meant I hadn't lost money, and I ended up actually making money. So if you're worried about interest rates rising and its effect on your mortgage, then have a look at my other video about how to make money and how to save money and how to protect yourself against interest rates rising. It's a very important thing to watch. And then what you can do is you can just sell that property when prices have corrected themselves. Usually when there is a dip, it's, well, I'm saying that, but it's never been for that long. Not since, oh dear, I'll have to look at the charts, but certainly not for the last sort of 40 years. Property has always dipped slightly and then gone back up. Usually a bad deal is usually a bad deal with property. So if it was a bad buy, it's a bad buy when property prices dip. So if you are considering renting the property out, make sure you check on what you need to pay tax, because the government changed the law a while back so that you don't get mortgage offset, which is one of the downsides of being a landlord, unless you are put in a limited company, which has there's other things to consider. Too much to go into on this video. So even if you were renting the property out and having to contribute to the mortgage payment, you're still getting somebody else pay down your loan. I know it sort of seems like not a fantastic thing to do, to have to contribute to the mortgage payments, but someone's contributing to paying down that debt for you, which I think is the most important thing with property. I think you should never look at property as a short-term gain unless you are flipping properties. Property is obviously a lot easier to manage if you're looking at it as a long-term option. So other options you'd have would be to rent out a spare room. If you've got multiple rooms, then you could turn it into a HMO and rent all the rooms out, cover your mortgage payments. I generally would recommend people go down the Airbnb serviced accommodation route. It's lots of hassle for minimal profit, especially if you get into the VAT threshold. So anyway, I hope you find that useful. My arm is aching because I'm carrying the camera here. We'll carry on with the dog walk and then get back home. I'll see you in the next video.